The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host, and you can hear my show all over the great state of Alabama, Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, from 10 until 11 on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, and News Radio 1440 down in Montgomery, and then from 3 until 4 p.m. Monday through Friday on the UMP. Basically, if you are watching this, you can hear it somewhere. Just turn the radio on. I am probably there. With me, as always, the CEO of 256today.com, Mecca Music, smart news for smart people, and smart enough to have a conversation before the show, so maybe the show will be way less interesting than that conversation. But we'll try to make it interesting nonetheless. Our guest this week is Jacob Morrison. He is the host of the Tennessee Valley Labor Report, and we're going to talk with him about some labor issues in the state of Alabama and beyond, Donald Trump's appeal to union members and things like that after the election. And then I've got a parting shot for you that's actually a $1,000 challenge. You can have $1,000 of my own money. I'm willing to give it to you. I mean, nobody will be able to take it, but you'll have to watch to the end to find out. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute warning. Pardon me, Mecca, or pardon everyone. Pardon everyone on television, everyone in the White House, everyone in Congress. Basically, pardon everyone, because that's good now. Wow, what a different world we're living in. I will tell you, former Congressman Mo Brooks and I had multiple conversations about potential preemptive pardons a couple of years ago, and I remember watching on television guys like Adam Schiff talking about how that would be horrible, Liz Cheney talking about how that's horrible, and now they're talking about preemptive pardons for them. What was the crime? And by the way, a pardon for Hunter Biden that goes back to 2014. What went on in 2014, Hunter? What happened? Can you tell us? I'd love to know. Mecca, I thought preemptive pardons were bad, but now they're good.
Well, if you're on this side, then they're a good thing. And I think a lot of people, voters, the American public, they're definitely seeing through this, and everybody's asking why. And then you have to ask about the ramifications. Once Trump is in office, how are you going to say anything against his actions?
By being hypocrites. I mean, that's how you would do it. All the things they claimed Trump was going to do and didn't do, they're doing. On CNN, they had a conversation like, they could tie you up in an FBI investigation. They could bankrupt you. They could ruin your reputation. They could bring frivolous charges. And the token Republican meekly sits up and goes, yeah, that's exactly what they did to Trump. And they're like, well, he was indicted. They're like, yes, that's what we're talking about. That's literally like exactly what we're talking about here. Everything they're discussing are things that they said were horrible. And you got all these things on social media.
Well, and listen, and I wouldn't say it's not a monolith. They're not all saying, yes, this is good. I mean, I think there's plenty of people speaking out against these actions.
Absolutely. Not enough.
On both sides.
Not enough. I mean, look, the preemptive pardon thing makes you look guilty.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no other way to put it. And by the way, if Liz Cheney did something illegal, get her. If Adam Schiff did something illegal, get him. If Joe Biden did something illegal, well, he's above the law. Don't worry about him. But if Hunter Biden did something else illegal, get him. But you gave him an 11-year pardon.
I mean, that ship has sailed there.
I mean, it's a crazy thing. And all the talk, again, Donald Trump has had the ability to make people become the worst versions of themselves, and in some cases, himself.
That's a really good way to put it, though.
I mean, really,
that is 100% a great way to put it.
Because they have decided what they're going to do is everything they accuse him of doing, and that is idiotic. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit here about Alabama Democrats and what they're doing. They're being super duper aggressive. Let's talk about how aggressive they're being. They're being aggressive on all sorts of things. They're being aggressive on vaping, on cell phones, on voting. You usually don't see this from Democrats, Mecca. What's happening here with them?
I feel like, and I've talked to a few people in the Democratic Party, the Alabama Democratic Party, it does still exist. And a lot of it is they are trying to get away from more of the mainstream narrative, more of the kitchen table politics. And they think it's going to be a successful way to make headway in Alabama, because these are somewhat, you can get widespread support for a lot of these issues. You kind of went over it, but it's more regulations on vaping. We're talking about banning phones in classrooms and schools and things like that. And I mean, I think a lot of the public, especially people in Alabama, parents and things like that, they can get behind these sort of issues. So this is the Alabama Democrats' attempt, I think, to get more mainstream, at least in the state of Alabama.
Well, they're attacking issues that have to do with kids. They're attacking issues that have to do with voting. They're not talking about race and all these other things that normally they like to talk about. The voting thing is a little about that. It's like, how can people vote if they don't have 37 days? It's going to be impossible. We just don't know how that's going to work. That kind of stuff. And I think this is right. On the phone thing specifically, banning phones in schools, absolutely.
That's an easy thing to get behind.
It is a no-brainer.
And they want to be seen, this is exactly no-brainer, common sense. They want to get back to these common sense issues, and they'll be the party who's going to, go after these common sense issues, why it's going to be the Alabama Republicans, doing the nonsense and things like that.
Well, and Republicans have focused on things like school choice and gambling and all these other things. They just elected a new leader, Garland Gudger from Coleman, who was anti-school choice and pro-gambling, which I think is pretty interesting. But Alabama Democrats have an aggressive agenda they seem to be approaching here. But here's the reality. This is all messaging because they can't do anything.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But if these are widespread popular issues, do you think, so you do not think that this has any chances?
Okay, so
I know it's Republicans.
I'm going to finish my sentence here. They can't do anything, but you know what can happen? Republicans can go, oh, I like that. And then they take it and they do it and they do it themselves, which is exactly what Republicans should do.
Yeah.
They should absolutely.
So that's what you think is going to happen.
They should. I mean, they absolutely should do this. Okay, let's talk about self-deportations here for a second. I love this idea. We're seeing some of this already. There's a lot of talk about deportations. There was a ruling last week from the Ninth Circuit of all places that said just because King County is a sanctuary county doesn't mean that they can stop people from using the Seattle airport to deport people. So that's going to kind of free up some stuff because things were getting caught up that way. It really looks like we're moving into the deportation phase of this. The mass deportation label, I think, is maybe a little gimmicky. I don't think we're going to actually see that. You're going to see people with deportation orders going, and every time they get touched by the police, they're going to go. You're going to see people who commit crimes, they're going to go. They're not going down to farms, and we'll talk about this with Jacob a little bit later.
I'm excited.
And going after people who are picking crops and things like that. They're not going to be rounding those guys up. They're not going to do that. What they're going to do is they're going to go after criminal elements and people who are interacting with the system more so than the people who are kind of living in the shadows. And they're definitely not going to bring those people out of the shadows.
And the self-deportation we're talking about, the report that you're citing, I think it was like 100, 200.
Yeah, I got a little more excited about the deportation thing. But yes, the self-deportation is people who are waiting to come across the border using the apps and all the other stuff that was created. They know it's over. Yeah. They are aware that it's about to change, and they're going to say, "Well, should I go in and get caught up in this system where they have decided they've done family separation, and we're coming back to they're still doing it, but now the media's going to talk about it, but they're willing to go back to that, and they're going to be actively putting people out, and they're saying, well, I don't really want any part of that because the consensus was." We got to get as many people as we can in here before this changes. And now as we get closer, we got to turn this around. So is the plan already working?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'd say that's more anecdotal, but I would say that's an obvious issue for people who want to come over here or people who might want to go back, considering what can be coming. Let me ask you, though, you said the mass deportation, that kind of a gimmicky label. Do you think that Trump voters will be disappointed then if there's not?
You show me videos of people getting put on planes and being flown out of the country, and people will be like, you show me that it's
No, I'm saying a lack of the mass number that was being
I don't
around.
think this is one of those don't take Trump literally situation. Take him seriously, but don't take him literally. Because the mass deportation thing, in the mind of the way the media was sort of framing this, was there were going to be stormtroopers going down to Albertville and rounding people up and like breaking the signs that are written in Spanish and stuff like this.
But you don't think some people kind of expected that?
Nobody expects that. Nobody expects that. I just don't think that's true. I think they expect immigration to slow down significantly. I think they expect border security and putting bad guys out. I think that's what they expect. All right, moving on. Let's talk about pride, which I always mention is a sin. Let's talk about pride here for just a second. In Prattville, they have a parade, and what is a parade without a drag queen? I mean, that's truly, you need a Christmas parade, you got to have a drag queen at any time. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go with like a drag queen Santa because that seems a little more on brand here. But there is a push down there to leave this alone. And it's coming from people like me. In Prattville, they want to have a Christmas parade. Members of the community can participate in this. You can't stop them just because you disagree with their particular message. I've said before, discretion is a better part of valor. Maybe you don't do the drag queen. Maybe you just have a parade that says, hey, we're Prattville Pride. Here's some candy canes or something like that. But you can go the other way. And you can do the Christmas parade drag queen if that's something you want to do. Mecca, look, I was pro-gay marriage before Barack Obama started lying about the position, okay? So I just want to...
You're very forward-thinking.
Yes. They always say, he's so progressive.
So progressive.
And this stuff still irks me. Mm-hmm. It's a Christmas parade. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? Why are we walking around and go, by the way, I like to have sex with women. Just throwing that out there. I just want everyone to know I like to have sex with women. Here's a candy cane. It just doesn't make any sense for us to be
so dumb. That's so ridiculous.
But I'm saying that what is the point of that? It's a Christmas parade. It's for kids. This is why people get mad about this stuff.
I get your point, but wasn't it last week on your parting shot? You said Prattville is completely in the right here. Community groups are allowed to participate.
Yeah,
so
they're allowed. They cannot stop them. They should not stop
exactly.
them.
So you agree with that, but you just still don't like it. I guess.
They should reason with them and say to them, hey, this is a bad idea. Do you want to upset your neighbors? Or do you want to be a good neighbor or not? I mean, that's really the question. Do you want to be are you trying to be a good neighbor? Or are you trying to be a prick? I mean, that's really the option here. Because, and I know how to do both. Okay, I know how to do both. But if you're trying to be a good neighbor, you don't antagonize people. And by the way, these people have every right to do whatever they want to do. And then the other people have every right to criticize them for doing it. Right. But I will just highlight this. It's a Christmas parade. It's for kids. And one of the major criticisms that you're hearing of this community is that you're focusing too much on kids. I mean, that's schools, libraries, parades, things like this, children's programming. I shouldn't put Blue's Clues on and see a drag parade, which you see. Okay, so this is the problem. And I'm sorry, I know that's uncomfortable stuff to talk about, but that's exactly what the issue is. And then you take people like me, who are generally like, to your cause, and make me go, don't do that. And that's where we are. So should they go ahead and do this?
The Christmas parade? Are you talking about Prattville leadership? I think it's doing exactly what
they're following the law. I'm talking about Prattville Pride.
What they're supposed to be doing.
Do you agree with me? Discretion is a better part of valor?
I think you have valid points, humorous, very amusing points. But I would fall within the law that every group would have their right to.
They can do it. They should not do. They should not do. Okay, that's what I think. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics this week. Jacob Morrison will be with us here in just a second. He's with the Tennessee Valley Labor Report. Stay tuned.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus, live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Share Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I'm Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And our guest this week is Jacob Morrison, host of the Tennessee Valley Labor Report. We appreciate him being here. Jacob, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. We'll talk about the election and things like that first. But Donald Trump and Joe Biden both said, I don't like this steel deal with the Japanese steel maker. There are Alabama implications to this. A little protectionism. Donald Trump's leaving the free market long time ago. He's not a free market Republican from the past. He's more of a fair market guy. Will they stop the deal?
I think they have to. I've seen some news saying that Nippon is trying to close the deal by the end of December, and I just don't see how it goes through with Biden's, with Biden's previous opposition to the bill.
And Harris was against it.
Harris was against it. All of the Democrats in Pennsylvania have been against it and continue to be against it. Interestingly, the local unions in Pennsylvania in the Mon Valley support it because they say that Nippon would
be a better steward
potentially, and actually go for and actually make some investments. And so the local unions, even though the international union, the United Steelworkers at the national level, oppose the deal, the local union supports it and says if you oppose the deal, you need to put forward a plan to invest in these facilities, which nobody else is doing.
Let me ask a quick question here before we get to Mecca here. The situation might be that Joe Biden's a liar. And maybe he doesn't actually oppose it because, he's a liar.
That wasn't a question.
That is a question.
That wasn't even a question.
No, it is. Here's the question. So is Joe Biden going to lie about this and let it go through?
Joe Biden is obviously a liar, as are all other politicians, but I would be shocked if he was lying about his opposition to this deal, and I would be surprised if it goes through, and I would be frustrated.
Jacob, you talked about this deal having Alabama implications. What does that involve?
There are just some facilities that U.S. Steel still owns in Alabama, and so potentially, you would obviously see those facilities change ownership to Nippon instead of U.S. Steel, and so there are workers in Alabama that would be affected by the new ownership.
It's just like, who's in favor of this? Like, it's hard to find like a politician who's in favor of it, and there's an issue here with national security issues and all these other things involved as well. Not that I think those are the main things driving this opposition. Let's talk about Donald Trump. Last time we had you on, we talked a little Donald Trump in unions. We've talked about it on the radio a little bit, but let's talk about this real quick. Donald Trump did better than most Republicans have done with unions. Still not by any stretch that means winning union workers, but blue-collar workers, yes. Union workers, no. What do you think the difference is between a blue-collar worker and a blue-collar union worker?
Well, a blue-collar union member is, somebody that is a member of a union. I mean, being a member of a union really can be something that changes somebody's life in a really significant way. And when you're a union member, you're going to be exposed to a lot of the things that Joe Biden and the Democrats have done for union members over these last 4 years. The significant infrastructure investments in the United States. I mean, hundreds of thousands of jobs.
Lots of union jobs created.
Lots of union jobs,
and
project
used,
labor agreements, things like that. The pensions alone, I mean, hundreds of thousands of union workers have had their pensions saved by the Biden administration. And so while Trump has done better with union members than other Republicans, unlike every other demographic in the country, Trump did not gain on his previous union support. And I think that's interesting. And the question for Democrats now is, I think, how can you basically create more union members? Because that's how FDR and the New Deal cemented a working class supermajority for the Democrats during that era. And it's going to take something like that. We've seen, working class voters kind of ping pong basically from Republican to Democrat basically for the last 20 or 30 years, waiting for a party to address their needs. And so far, none of them have done it yet.
So let's talk about that. Earlier, Dylan and I were talking about the Democratic agenda in the Alabama legislature, some of the bills that are coming forward. Are these the kind of things that you think will make headway with union voters?
The things that you mentioned, no. I think you said that they're very common sense things. I think they make sense, and I think union voters would support it. I don't think that it's going to change the way that union voters vote in elections. I think something that is on the docket that union voters and working class people in Alabama will be supportive of is a bill that deals with child labor. And so this one, like last year's SB 231, which Alabama said to companies, if you voluntarily recognize a union, we'll take your incentives from you. This one that's been pre-filed by the Democrats says, if you violate child labor laws, we will take your incentives from you. And I think that is extremely common sense. I think if you exploit and abuse children in our state, we should not be giving you our tax dollars. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
Here's a question I have about the child labor stuff. A lot of the stuff that we saw were illegal labor being used and child labor, which was illegal. And sometimes the argument was being made they didn't know that now they were hiring illegals through the hiring companies and things.
Yeah,
they were
lying.
Right. 6 degrees of separation or whatever you want to call it. I agree with that.
Right.
And then they'd find these people that were like, well, we didn't know about this, so we had nothing to do with this. And they gave them the plausible deniability. How do you handle that?
Well, I think that you just have to. Even despite the fact that that you have these people that are lying and saying that, I didn't know, there are instances where if you investigate it enough, you can tie the use of child labor to these companies. And Reuters has been able to do that with the Hyundai Motor Manufacturing company. And so, and even if you didn't know about it, I think this law says, well, you should know about it.
Yeah.
And we'll
I agree with this. You've got to make penalties that if they do this, you have to stop and you have to do that. And I agree with that. So I think that's important. All right, we got to take a quick time out here. Jacob, thank you very much for being here. Jacob Morrison, Valley Labor Report. You can check him out. He's on a lot of radio stations all over the place. So thank you very much to him for being here. Mecca leaves, so the show gets much better. And I give you a parting shot when we come back. Stay tuned.
What's the address of your emergency? My 2-year-old son, we can't find him.
From the Fox 54 Plus True Crime Series.
I did not get an attorney because I'm a guilty man. I got an attorney because I'm tired of being accused of something I would never do.
Little man's gone. He's missing. We can't find him.
Little Man Lost. Available now on Fox 54 Plus. Stream on your schedule.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. I've got a challenge and a parting shot for you here in just 1 second. We'll get to that in just a moment. First, though, let me tell you about the 7 things you should be talking about today. Head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my email blast, and every single morning, Monday through Friday, you'll get the 7 things you should be talking about today right there when you wake up. I've already been up for hours. I've done it for you. I send it to you. It's very simple. The 7 things you should be talking about today at yellowhammernews.com. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that parting shot. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Dale Jackson Coleman Sundown Sign Challenge here for just a second. I'm going to give you $1,000 if you can give me a picture of this sign from the 70s on. Okay, and I'm going to be kind. I'll even go to the 60s. There is an argument going on because AL.com decided because Coleman, Alabama, was picked as one of the nicest Christmas hallmark something or others because it's a nice place to go and celebrate Christmas, that they had to say, oh, yeah. Well, they used to have a sign on the freeway that said, hey, N-words, don't let the sun go down on you. That's the allegation. And all I'm asking you is to show me a picture of the sign. I've done the research. I've seen people tell me it's been there since up until 1989. And if true, all I'm asking you to do is show me a picture of it. I've heard that maybe it's in the courthouse in Coleman, in the basement. Go find it. Take a picture of it. Show it to me. I just need proof that this thing existed, and I will give you $1,000 of Mecca's money. I will do that for you because I want the truth here. And by the way, shame on AL.com. The only reason they brought this story up is because somebody said something nice about Coleman. That's it. That was the entire catalyst for the underpaid, pathetic loser clowns that work at AL.com to say, how can we tear down this city over this nice thing? Over this nice nod, how can we destroy them? Well, all they did was once again destroy their own credibility, which they have almost none. But that's okay. They can't prove it. They won't even try. I will try to prove it. So take advantage. Get $1,000. It's the Dale Jackson Coleman Sundown Sign Challenge. I can't even say it, but you can win $1,000. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics This Week all over the great state of Alabama. We'll talk to you soon.